Hi and welcome. I'm Bruce Pattinson of the Total Education Centre, and we're here today at the Louis XIII Park, just outside Victor Hugo's home. We're going to take you through the home in a minute, but before I do that, I'd like to give you a little bit of background about that famous French author. Victor Hugo published The Hunchback of Notre Dame in 1831, and it wasn't called The Hunchback of Notre Dame, that's an English translation. What it was called was Les Dames de Paris, and it was about Notre Dame Cathedral, which I'm going to take you to a little bit later. The first thing we're going to do in this lecture though is take you through Victor Hugo's home and show you why he was so interested in the architecture of the time. And basically the novel that you read, The Hunchback of Notre Dame in the original, is about the cathedral, and it did result in the restoration of the cathedral and a turnaround in French appreciation of the architecture of that Gothic period. Of course, you'll see during the home that Victor Hugo was a romantic and was interested in the Gothic, and you'll see that in the great variety of rooms that we go through in his home. Also, a particular mention was Victor Hugo was also exiled from France for 20 years because his novels were political and social in their context, and that was a tradition he established and was continued on by authors such as Charles Dickens later on in English society. Before we go through Victor Hugo's home, I'd just also like to give you a little bit of information about the text that will help you understand more about his home. It is, of course, a romantic Gothic novel, but it's more about Esmeralda and Quasimodo than anything else. It's a love story, but a tragic love story. And I'd like to point out to you that it's very different from some of the stories you've heard. And many of the English translations even have a happy ending, and in the ending of the real novel, what we get is their bones turned to dust at the end when their grave's discovered as Quasimodo throws himself on Esmeralda's dead body in the tomb. It's very important to remember that this is a Gothic novel with all the connotations of the Gothic. And while many critics, and myself included, consider it to be overwritten, there is a whole chapter of description on the cathedral itself, which we're going to go and look at later. It's still a novel with a love story at its core, and I suppose many critics suggest that architecture is its main theme, but we would hope that love was its main theme. Now let's go and have a look at the house itself. We're here at Victor Hugo's house today to have a look around, and I'll show you some footage of the house where he created his novels, Les Miserables, and of course The Hunchback of Notre Dame, as well as many of his other works. We're here in Les Marais, on the second story of the building just outside the park, which I'll show you some footage of later. I just want to show you a few of the artworks on the walls and some of the beautiful artwork on the sides because of the intense nature of the house, and it's where he created all those wonderful works. It's full of amazing artworks, his own artworks and artworks of others, and it covers a great period of French history. So we hope you enjoyed that tour of the house of Victor Hugo. As you can see, it's over there in the corner, and it's very eclectic, isn't it? And perhaps not to everybody's taste, and certainly not to modern taste. Now let's go and have a look at the cathedral that he loves so much and that the book's centred on.